Hi, this is Woo Anime. Today I'm going to talk about the anime series, By the Grace of the Gods Season 2. It's about the life of Ryoma, who has came to a rather sudden and disappointing end. He is visited in the afterlife by three gods who got fond of him and sent him to another planet as a kid, where he uses his inherent knowledge and talents. He live alone with his slimes until he met the Jamil family and help him register in the town of Gimel, where he establish his business, the Bamboo Forest Laundry Shop. And as the story continues, Ryoma returns to his laundry shop, where he is greeted by Li Ling and Fei outside. Cleaner and Sticky Slimes, together with Carla and Callum, were hard at work preparing the wash in the laundry room. Carla then requests that he would come to work a little late each day in order to reduce the amount of work he undertakes at the store in order to train the newbies. Ryoma accepts after understanding Carla's explanation. Before Carla could continue discussing the branch shop, some noise was heard from outside, and they checked it and discovered that Lilin had dealt with a couple of noisy customers. Ryoma considers tightening security surrounding the business after the incident, and he has an idea while looking through the store's glass window. He goes to the local mine to experiment with something new, and has his sticky slimes manufacture some hardening solution in a box tray. He then uses magic to remove the moisture, which he does several times until a piece of thick glass is formed. Its goal was to better protect the store's customers from potential harm in the future. For the rest of the day, Ryoma and his sticky slimes construct several more panes of thick glass, and towards the finish, Ryoma discovers a new slime known as medicine slime. Ryoma discovers that it's an evolved type of a poison slime after performing appraisal on it. He comes to the conclusion that the poison slime evolved after coming into contact with some antidote the other day, and his theory is confirmed when he feeds some antidote to the poison slimes. He learns the following remedies from his medicine slime: ointment, hemostat, antidote, quick and slow poison, fast and slow paralysis, and antibiotic. Ryoma's appraisal finds that the antibiotic drug is basically a disinfectant, which captures his interest. He decides to pay another visit to the church since he is concerned about his overworking habits. Unknown to him, a new god had taken a liking to him. Ryoma goes to the church the next day, and after praying, he is sent to the god realm, where he meets Tekken, the god of technology and craftsmanship. They introduce themselves, followed by Tekken's thoughts on Ryoma's craft and the gods of that planet. Fernabilia, the god of magic and academics, was one of them. Their time together is quickly coming to an end, but Ryoma promises to see him again before returning to the mortal realm. Back at the laundry shop, he meets with Fei, Li Ling, Carla, and Callum to discuss his new invention, reinforced glass, for improved store security. Fei and Li Ling test the glass's durability. Li Ling attacks it while Fei holds it up. Their test demonstration goes off without a hitch, but Li Ling points out that it would be a disadvantage if they had to break the glass to escape. As a result, Fei advises that some of the store's glass windows be replaced with reinforced glass. Carla asks Ryoma about opening a shop in another town now that they have more workers in the place before leaving for his appointment with Serge. Ryoma does not disregard the idea, but he will think about it further before going to visit Serge. He asks Serge to get a large number of bottles to store medicines during their meeting. Serge, on the other hand, proposes that he join the merchant guild as a chemist in order to obtain the bottles he requires in quantity at a reduced price. Ryoma then meets with Glycela and hands her a bottle of antidote and disinfectant. Glycela, who was impressed with the effectiveness of the medicines, even discussed creating a second shop, and if he didn't have the funds, selling his drugs can get it started. Outside, Ryoma receives a letter from Eliaria in which she updates him on how things are going on her side. Ryoma considered opening another shop once he finished reading the letter. After meeting with the Tamer Guild's leader, Taylor Smith, Ryoma deals with an unpleasant client who attempts to extort money from the business for ripping his shirt. However, after inspecting the clothing, Ryoma discovers that the tears were created with a knife. Ryoma uses a few of cleaner slimes to demonstrate how they clean clothing without tearing it. The client is upset by the information and attempts to assault Ryoma, who easily defeat him and later have him transported by the guards. Carla expresses her worries about the motive behind the appearances of rude clients and promises to have Callum investigate. Ryoma meets Asagi while wandering around the streets of Gimel, and after noticing Asagi's new sword, he asks where Asagi bought it. Asagi responds that swords like his are sold in the royal capital, but they get dull with time and are quite costly. Furthermore, Asagi receives his swords from his homeland. So, later, in the mines, Ryoma gathers the elements for a katana, but he lacks the skill to build one. He then chooses to put his new fire spear to use after defeating a robber in the forest. The next day, Carla presents Callum's report to Ryoma, stating that the recent violent client incidents are the result of a political conflict. Taylor's ideological impact seems to be underestimated in the mainstream, and by connecting himself with Taylor, he has become a target. As a result, he advises spreading a new rumor about him taming 6 lemur birds, which are extremely difficult to tame. Following that, Ryoma meets with Tony, Culkin, and Lobelia and learns about the harsh working circumstances they endured as slime researchers in the past. They were all dismissed and forced to live in the slums since their study had no results. When he inquires about what they feed their slimes at such times, they give just animal leftovers. Ryoma, surprised by their response, explains them that a slime develops based on what it consumes. The three are shocked by the information, and they become eager to learn more about slime's secrets. While walking home that night, Ryoma is ambushed by 3 attackers, who are quickly dispatched due to his paralyzing needles and 2 of his lemur birds. After the intruders have been dealt with, Worgen comes, followed by several guards, and requests that he meet with him the next day. The following day, Ryoma notifies the shopworkers about what happened the night before and advises them to be cautious. He then attends a meeting with Taylor, Worgen, and Glisela, all of whom advise him to stay quiet for a time after discovering that the individuals who attacked him were hired to do so. The 3 guild masters promise to deal with the mastermind behind the attacks, and Glisela suggests he spread a new rumor. The rumor claimed that Ryoma would harm anyone who attacked him and then cure them at a high price, and this was shown that night when additional attackers assaulted him. The next day, Ryoma, Fina, Maria, and Jane all practice how to deal with a difficult client with the store's new bodyguard Dolce. When Callum and Chelma come with lunch, they all take a pause to eat it. Carla eventually delivers Ryoma a report on how the store's finances have improved and how their managers in training abilities with slimes have all improved. Ryoma, who is pleased with the results, feels it's time to start planning for a second shop. He would later visit Glisela to discuss potential sites and was shown 3 possible properties for sale. Ryoma gets a letter from Eliaria on her way home, in which she talks about starting school in the royal capital shortly. She also mentions how she's been working on strengthening her magical powers and hopes Ryoma gets a vacation whenever possible. Ryoma, on the other hand, has no intentions to relax since he's headed to a new city to build a new branch. That's it for now, see you on my next video.
Got all this money, I'm feeling like Mitch. Like, I don't like beefing with kids. I'm on his body like I was a sis. Bitch, I'm too grown, I don't fight with my fist. Don't bug at the fucking shit, get the pop in his body.